Some of the best and the most coolest films that have been made in India in the last few years were not in Hindi, and that was pretty much my inspiration to make this video. So if you are trying to find something meaningful to watch and if you don't mind reading subtitles, then here's a list of some of the best non-Hindi films that you can stream right now. Number 1. Visarnai. I can't possibly think of a film apart from Vetrimaran's Visarnai to start my list with. Based on M. Chandrakumar's novel Lock Up, this film was India's official entry for Oscars in 2017. The film is about 4 Tamil migrants and how they are forced to confess a crime that they never committed. It's a very hard-hitting commentary on police brutality, corrupt system, the helplessness of good amidst evil, and caste inequality. The film is strategically divided into 2 interrogations. दोनों ही interrogations में ये दिखाने की कोशिश की गई है that it doesn't matter if you are a migrant worker or a powerful middleman. You are nothing more than a dispensable pawn of a corrupt system. वैसे तो ये एक क्राइम थ्रिलर है, but it's nothing less than an absolute horror story. ऐसी फिल्म्स कभी भी irrelevant नहीं हो सकती. They are immortal. फिल्म के एंड में there is a statistic which states that even today 30% of the cases in India are closed by coercion. Another theme which is common in all the Vetrimaran films is caste inequality. But the way this film deals with it is very subtle. It's not in your face or preachy in nature. I watched this film 2 years ago, and after watching this I watched all the Vetrimaran films. And I can say this that he is the best filmmaker in this country right now. Trust me, I can just go on talking about him. Number 2. Amis. Directed by Bhaskar Hazarika, this was one of the most haunting love stories that I watched in theatre last year. I mentioned this film in one of my videos and how this film deserves world recognition just because of its concept and how it is executed. It's one of those genre-defying films that you should not miss. The story is set in Guwahati. It is about a pediatrician Nirmali played by Leema Das and a PhD student Sumon played by Argadeep Barua. Amis का literal meaning है meat eater and this is the main theme of the film. After a weird encounter, Nirmali and Sumon soon develop a friendship and both start bonding over meals of different kinds of meat. Food is an important character in this film, but it also turns into a dangerous metaphor. The film takes weird twists in the later half. It might come off a bit provocative, but if you're a fan of dark and intense dramas, you won't be disappointed. It's available on moviesaints.com. You'll have to pay $100 to watch it. Number 3. Samantaral. I watched this beautiful Bengali movie last month. Samantaral का मतलब होता है parallel, and the protagonist of this film, Sujan, is kind of living in his parallel world. A lot of you might be thinking that why am I not talking about classic Bengali movies by Mrinal Sen or Satyajit Ray? But honestly, those classic films are something that doesn't need to be recommended. And most of you anyway would have already watched those classics. If you haven't, then I'd strongly recommend you to start with Satyajit Ray's The Appu trilogy. Samantaral, however, is a very poignant take on mental health and a typical Indian family's mindset towards gender identity. Paramprata Chatterjee plays Sujan, जिसे हमेशा से ही उसकी फैमिली ने अपने घर के ऊपर वाले रूम में कन्फाइन करके रखा है. When Sujan's nephew Arko returns home after finishing his school, he starts spending a lot of time with Sujan. It's through him that we get to know who Sujan really is. Sujan has this ingrained innocence in him, and it's this character arc that makes you stay throughout the journey in an otherwise heartbreaking story. Number 4. Tithi. ये फिल्म कर्नाटका के एक रिमोट विलेज में सेट है. The film starts with the death of Century Gowda, a 101-year-old man. And yes, he's called Century because he's that old. There's a land that this old man owned. Gadappa, Century Gowda's son, doesn't really care about the ownership of the land, but his son Thamanna does. The film's plot sounds like a very morbid take on life, but it's not at all like that. It blends reality and fiction in the best way possible. Francis Ford Coppola, the director of the Godfather trilogy, mentioned how this film is a joyous view on life in India with unforgettable characters. And that's the part I agree the most about. My favorite character in the film was Gadappa. The film also has some of the best non-actors giving some incredible performances. Watch it to know how sometimes some of the most basic films leave a very lasting impression on you. Number 5. Killa. Most of the films that I mentioned in the list are a bit dark or heavy on drama. So here's something truly simple yet extraordinarily beautiful execution-wise. Killa is directed by Avinash Arun, who recently co-directed the much talked about Patal Lok. Killa is a very heartwarming trip to the good old days when life was simple. But it's not at all a kids film, so to say. It's a kids film through the eyes of an adult and for a grown-up audience. It's a very mature film about the life of a 12-year-old Chinmay, his friendship with his schoolmates, the instability in his life due to his mother's transferable job, and his relationship with her. The best thing about this film is its purity and the way it has been captured by Avinash Arun's vision. This guy is a celebrated cinematographer and has shot films like Madari and Karwa. There are some moments that will choke you up with its innocence, and it will leave you thinking about the best days of your life. A very well made and a very real coming of age drama in the time of shitloads of pretentious films. Number 6. गमक घर. अगर आपके ancestral roots गांव से जुड़े हैं, then this film will be a time machine for you. Directed by Achal Mishra, the film seems like a very personal ode to his family home. It's set in the filmmaker's ancestral village in Bihar. The film basically doesn't have a character or a linear storyline to depend upon. It uses time as a character which is pushing the narrative forward. पूरे 2 डेकेड की कहानी बड़े ही अलग तरीके से नॉन एक्टर्स के थ्रू दिखाई गई है। ये फिल्म ना बहुत ही खूबसूरत नॉस्टैल्जिया है। इट्स अबाउट आवर फैमिलीज एंड आवर एक्सटेंडेड फैमिलीज लिविंग इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री, जो हर साल फेस्टिवल्स पे या स्पेशल ओकेजन्स पे अपने एंसेस्ट्रल घर पे रियूनाइट होते हैं। A lot of you might lose interest in between because it lacks a definite storyline. It's like revisiting old photo albums. You can't really go back to the old days. All you can do is talk about how everything has changed so much by listening to yesteryear's stories and looking at old photo albums and videotapes. Number 7. Trance. Okay, the last and the most powerful on the list. The film features Fahad Fasil, one of the best actors in the country right now who can literally act through his eyes and doesn't even need dialogues. Directed by Anwar Rashid and written by Vincent Vadakkan, Trance is a genius concept at its core. No one in the mainstream Bollywood can even dare to make a film like this. It's a psychological drama that makes a strong commentary on religion. Fahad Fasil plays Viju, a motivational speaker who is depressed. The film shows how religion is nothing but a product in a capitalist world, and just like other things, it can also be manufactured. The makers that's why give us a very corporate-like feel when Viju is interviewing for the job of a Christian pastor who has to perform miracles. Yes, the plot is as crazy as it sounds. Fahad Fasil is just too good as a motivational speaker turned godman. There is a reason why this man can literally pull off any kind of role. Just like Vetrimaran, I can do a whole video on Fahad Fasil. Watch this Malayalam film to experience some quality cinema coming straight out of real India. So that was the list, guys. Tell me in the comments below if you want more videos on non-Hindi films from India. And don't forget to drop your favorite non-Hindi films in the comments below. See you in the next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy and subscribe to Indiatimes.